Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, I'm Ahsina from IPLJ class.
Hello everyone, my name is Qinesha from IPLJ class. Me and my friends will discuss about history and development of Islamic philosophy. Enjoy!
Background. Initially, philosophy was called the mother of science because philosophy seems to be able to answer questions about everything whether related to nature universe as well as human with all their problem and life. But as long as with the changed times, the development of science and technology that gave birth to various new disciplines with each specialization, it can be concluded that Islamic philosophy is the product of human thought radically, systematically, and universally about the nature of matter, natural universe, and human based on Islamic teachings. Discussion. First, history of philosophy in Islam, and the second one is development of Islamic philosophy.
History of Islamic philosophy. Philosophical thought entered Islam through Greek philosophy, which is the Muslim encountered in the 8th century AD or the 2nd century Hijri in Syria, Mesopotamia, Persia, and Egypt. In the Islamic Encyclopedia published by E.T.R. Baru van Heve, it is explained the Greek culture and philosophy entered these areas through the expansion of Alexander the Great, ruler of Macedonia, 336 until 323 BC. After defeating Darius in 1st century BC in the Arabia region east of Tigris, the birth of Islamic philosophy cannot be separated from the effort to translate manuscripts of philosophy and various branches of science into Arabic, which have been carried out since the classical period of Islam. In the thematic encyclopedia of the Islamic world, Thought and Civilization, it states that this translation effort is not only carried out on Greek texts but also texts from various languages such as Syriani and Persian.
History of Islamic philosophy. Al-Kindi was the first to try formulate systematically what is philosophy Islam. Al-Kindi is actually still close to more developed Islamic theology in the world of Islamic thought. Al-Kindi shows that the concern of philosophy, first or metaphysics, is actually the same with theology, namely about God. Al-Farabi and Ibn Sina, on both of them, especially on Ibn Sina, got opportunity to be developed further in Islamic thought environment. New problems that was never discussed in pre-modern philosophy Islam was introduced by both, for example, hermeneutic philosophy.
Development of Islamic philosophy. Classic period. Thought on the philosophy of education in this period were the embodiment of content of the verses of Al-Quran and Hadith, all of which formed the general framework of Islamic ideology. In other words, the thought of Islamic education in terms of Quran and Hadith does not appear as a disconnected thought, regardless of its relationship to society as described by Islam. Middle period, covering the span of post-Khulafaur Rashidin government to the beginning of Western imperialist era. This time span includes the beginning of the reign of Umayyads, the golden age of Islam, and decline of Islamic political power until the early 19th century. The beginning of this period saw the emergence of number of ideas about education. Thinking about education seems to be adjusted to be interest, place, and time.
Development of Islamic philosophy. Modern period. The modern period refers to the periodization division of the history of Islam, namely according to Harun Nasution, that the modern period is marked by the control of the Bani Abbas and the Bani Umayyah politically and pluralized by the Western imperialists. However, there are three major Islamic empires that still hold the hegemony of Islamic power, namely the Ottoman Empire, the Safavid Empire, and the Mughal Empire. The culmination of the modern period of Islamic educational philosophy is summarized in the Conference World Islamic Education in Mecca in 1977 as the beginning of the origination of this concept of handling of Islamic education. Furthermore, Islamabad produced guidelines on making curriculum patterns in Dhaka, resulted in the development of the textbook.
Conclusion. Philosophy has developed and changed its function from the parent of science to become a kind of approach and adhesive from various kinds of science that have developed rapidly and spread from the one another interdisciplinary approach. And philosophy is analytical tools in solving philosophical problems from the world of science and philosophical human life.